Welcome to Real People, Real Voices for a very special edition of Real People, Real Voices.
Yes, special edition.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
Yeah, it is. We've promised ourselves that we would take time to talk about issues. And that sometimes we need to do that. We love guests, but sometimes we need to talk dialogue among ourselves and dialogue with the community and see what we see that they see, hoping that they see it.
And we got a lot to talk about, but first I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, we want to thank Lee Koslick and Crawley, Fervent Care Christian Academy, the Indianapolis Health, Marion County Health Department, Public Health Department. We want to continually thank them for their safe sleep program, and hopefully we'll be able to do some other ventures with them.
Absolutely, and we want to encourage you to support us by going to YouTube and look up WHNB TV 40, Real People, Real Voices. You can watch this show when it's over, as well as others that you might have missed.
Right, and like us on YouTube, and like us on Facebook as well. So we want you to participate by watching. Not only that, we need sponsors to help us keep this moving in a positive direction to where we can make sure that the community is relevant to what's happening and that we can share what we need to share with you.
You can enjoy us all weekend, Friday nights at 9:30.
Right.
And Sunday at late afternoon at 5:30 p.m.
Right. We look forward to having you watch us.
And you know, talking about watching, Dr. Moore, we got to watch all of this high homicide that we have, record homicides past 3 years.
Right.
And we're going to talk about a program after break called Talk It Out.
Not shoot it out.
When we come back, we'll have more to tell you about it. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices with your host, James Jackson.
Co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And in our next segment, Dr. Moore and I are going to be talking about just a little bit about the mayor's race for Indianapolis that's coming up. Of course, it's already going on, and then you're going to get a chance to make your choice this November. But first, I want to talk about this wonderful program. Dr. Moore, it's a wonderful collaboration with IMPD and the faith-based.
Faith-based community. You know, we like to say Baptist Ministers Alliance of Concerned Clergy, but we want to say the total faith-based community. We can't do this.
Because there are a lot of partners in there.
There's a lot of partners in there. We can't do it without all of us pitching in to try to make this happen. Talk It Out and Don't Shoot It Out was just something that came to us to try to get the community to understand that there's other forms of help than 911. In many cases in our communities, 911 is the last resort. It is takes place after something has happened.
Right.
And then there's another aspect to that is when there's a lot of calls that are being made to 911 that are just service calls, which can prohibit law enforcement from addressing criminal activity because they're taking a lot of service calls. We believe if the community can wrap its arms around Connect Help 211, they can get as many, over 700 or more services that they need. Need food? Call 211. You need help in any capacity? Call 211. But especially if there's a domestic situation going on, before it escalates, call 211. If you can alter a homicide from taking place, call 211. Call that number for help. That's a better number to call than 911, believe me, because we need the community to connect with 211 and the services that they have to offer, because it's not law enforcement's job to connect us to services. It is 211's job to connect us to services.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
It is.
Just 211 on your dial there, just 211, and it connects you to people. And
a live voice, not a recording.
A live voice. And people can also connect to help on the internet with 211.
Right, right. I mean, it's accessible. People can get that, but now you might have to wait in queue for a moment.
Yeah.
But they're going to get to you. They're going to get to you. It's better to be on the line waiting for help than not getting help at all. And so we hope that in volume of calls will increase with 211. Hope the community will take full asset of it. And these partners that have come alongside, the police department is in on it, and we hope that they will continue to support it. We hope that it will be something that they will budget every year. It's not about just faith-based, it's about the total community, making sure that Connect Help 211 remains in the community to help us get through some of these crises that we're going through.
You know, Dr. Moore, there might be folks watching who say, well, why is it so important for people to call this kind of number? Certainly a lot of times when folks are already shooting at each other, as you've indicated, it's too late. But there might be some people saying, well, why should I call? They may not understand my problem.
Right. Well, if they don't understand your problem, I think this particular agency can get you to a place to where somebody can understand it. Because it has a variety and a vicissitude, not a vicissitude, but a plethora of agencies that they can plug you into. And you need to take advantage of it because they're there for the community. It's been around for 30 years, but the community in which some of us are in will not and have not used this number, and we're trying to get them to use this number.
This is a new component.
It's a brand new component for our community
Yeah.
to utilize it. And we want people to start talking this stuff out instead of shooting it out. I mean, last couple of weeks here in our city, it has just been bloody. And I was just wondering if people could just learn how to talk to one another. You know, I know it's hard to talk when we're angry, but you know, we got to learn how to diffuse those types of situations. And we need to be proactive.
Yeah.
You know, some of us, and no one group has the answer. No one. We just need to be proactive and more engaging. And we lack that in some areas of our administration about the idea of being engaging in the community.
And what's interesting about this, Dr. Moore, a lot of the homicides over the years have been found to be between people who know each other.
Yeah, domestics.
Yeah, so there was some conversation going on that perhaps escalated out of control.
Control, right.
And this Talk It Out, Don't Shoot It Out, and Connect to Help 211 could connect people to agencies that can help them with anger management, conflict resolution.
Right, that's what we're about.
Those kind of things.
Yeah, and for instance, you know, there are people who are having serious issues, whatever those issues are, they'll be able to move you along in a way to where you can get all the help that you can get, that they can offer you for that particular situation. It's no 100% fix, but it's something that's headed in the right direction.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there. And I think we need to use this instead of getting to a point to where 911 is always the number we call after something has taken place. Try to do something before something takes place. Be proactive in your own situation.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because when you call 911, the first thing they say, 911, what is your emergency?
Right.
So hopefully...
They say, what can we help you with here?
Yeah, so that's early.
That's early,
before it becomes an emergency.
Right, before it becomes an emergency. Yeah. And then everybody walks the streets with prayer visuals. After 911, we have prayer visuals. We have so many things going on to make the community aware that a homicide has taken place. What are we going to do before it takes place?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And I think these new this administration or the new administration, whatever administration, needs to come up with more proactive situations at a grassroots level and put money where your mouth is and stop dispersing money when the summer's over and start giving it to these groups when the summer starts.
Yeah, well before.
Yeah, well before, so they can get things in place. But you know, I'm not in those chairs. I'm not in those particular places to make that happen. But it doesn't do you any good to give money after the summer. Money needs to be given during the summer, prior to the summer, to where people can orchestrate and structure their programs to hopefully cause some things to be prevented in the neighborhoods.
I hope so. And you know, Dr. Moore, the scriptures say that there's safety in the multitude of counselors.
Right.
And certainly the collaboration with Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, the concerned clergy, long time organization in Indianapolis, the BMA, a historic organization, all working together. That includes a lot of different faith-based organizations to try and prevent the high number of homicides that we've seen over the last 3 years.
Yeah, and I think eventually, when we leave our egos at the door, I'm praying that one day that there'll be a massive crowd of us coming together to come up with community solutions to make sure that we can eradicate and start reducing this number, because it's going up every year.
Yeah.
And we're in an element now to where people are not shooting, they're stabbing now. And so various forms of homicide are taking place in our community, and we need to try to combat it the best way that we can. And it ain't about who you like, it's who you can work with to get it done.
That's right. So please be sure that if you know people, at your family gatherings with your friends, text it, let people know they can connect to Help 211 now and get the help they need before it becomes an emergency that includes a homicide. We got much more to talk about. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Dr. Wayne Moore.
I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, Lee Krausick and Crawley for being with us, Fervent Prayer Christian Academy, and the Marion County Health Department for being with us again today.
And hopefully we'll be able to say that about you
Yeah.
when you call and ask for Curtis Baker to become a sponsor for Real People, Real Voices.
Yeah, you need to do it. It'll help your business out. It'll help whatever area you're in for it to be broadcast and communicated on this show. 1.5 million people have access to Channel 40, and we hope that we're saying something that can help community and get businesses to become a part of this.
And that doesn't even include YouTube and
It
Facebook.
doesn't. No.
All the people that
watch us on those areas.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the shopping center the other day, well, not shopping center, the grocery store, and a woman yelled. And I thought something, she says, "It's you." I said, "What do you mean, ma'am? You're on TV, you're on Real People, Real Voices." I said, "Well, thank you. Keep watching." And so we hope we're blessing people in the community.
Yeah, 9:30 on Friday nights and Sundays at 5:30.
Yeah.
So we got a mayor's race.
Yeah, November's going to be, what's it, the first Tuesday in November?
Yes, I believe so.
November, going to be a new election. Got an incumbent, Joe Hogsett, and Mr. Senator Jim Barrett.
And we're
is
hoping to
running.
have them on the show.
Yeah, they'll be here. Believe me, they will be here. They need to be here because this show is supposed to be of the community. Whether people acknowledge it or not, they don't want you to know that you're having an effect on people, but we are.
Yeah.
But I think in many cases we need to be grateful to the fact that we're able to get these two candidates in here because there's a lot of things going on in our city. People are complaining about the chuck holes, but it's more than the chuck holes. A lot of people are concerned about the approval of gentrification going on around in the city. A lot of people, public safety is one. It's just a lot of things going on in the city other than chuck holes that people are concerned about. The expansion of downtown is one, where people are losing their homes through process of fees and fines based on their properties. So a lot going on. You got the Riverside area is going to be under heavy construction. Over $100 million going to be spent in that area. Then you have so much going on that people are concerned about that people need to know about. And these mayors are going to have to address, these candidates ought to be able to address those questions. I think they should.
They should. And of course, you're a local pastor as well as the president of the Baptist Ministers Alliance. Your assessment of the last 3 years of the Hogsett administration and what you would like to see, should he get a second term, or what you would like to see from a new mayor?
Well, the first thing I would like to see, I want to be clear on the fact that I am not against economic development. I think economic development is going to be something that's going to be with any city that has the resources. I think what I'd like to see is community development. Some of our parks are horrible. I'd like to see more money placed in summer activities as it relates to putting youth in a position to where they can be safe and have good summers. More youth programs.
I think the last number that came out was about 2.5 million, just a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but yes, that was dispersed. Or will be
That's available for this round.
Yeah, okay, yeah, for this round, 2.5. At one time, it was 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah, and so they need to revisit that and make it 5 million. And I think they need to revisit some of these centers that are still there that need work and employees to run them. I think that in most cases, when we look at some of the things that are going on, some of our neighborhoods and blighted areas are so horrible looking. We're spending a lot of money expanding the downtown area, which is no problem. You got 16 Tech coming online. You got the new jail coming online. Those things, in many cases might be what we need, but we cannot tip the scale in one direction and let the other side suffer.
Yeah.
That's called political imbalance. And we live in a city that is politically imbalanced. It's horrible. And that's not to say that we don't have good leadership. That's a fact. All you got to do is look at it.
Yeah.
And anybody that doesn't look at it and realize that there's an imbalance there, something's wrong.
Yeah, it looked like that the potholes was going to be the main thing. At first, of course, we've seen a lot of work going on. Of course, 465 includes the state of Indiana, but a lot of the roads have been worked on. We've had some dry weather, and so now we're back to public safety. It seems like it always comes back to public safety because even though we have fewer people who are getting killed, a lot of people are getting shot. They just didn't die.
Non-fatals.
Yeah, non-fatals.
Last year, you had over 400 non-fatal shootings. And so if
That's a lot.
Yeah, and if you didn't have the trauma that you have at Eskenazi, the trauma center, you'd have lost more people than that. The number would have been, but we're blessed to have an Eskenazi.
They do an outstanding
tremendous job. Yeah, and so we're blessed in that arena. But those non-fatal shootings, those are statistics that the community never hears about. We only hear about the homicides.
Yeah.
There are people getting shot every evening and every night. It just is they didn't reach the homicide level. And so it's happening. It's really happening to where we're coming right back around to public safety. And I think the sitting mayor talked about he owns the homicide situation. He does not own it. The person who owns the homicide situation is the person who does the homicide. That sounds good for a few days, but the community owns the homicide situation along with the shooter. And what I mean by that is the community has to learn how to speak up, stand up, and say that we're going to create an environment to where we try to eradicate the behaviors in our neighborhood that would lead to homicides. But the problem is, Pastor Jackson, is that our city does a great job of suggesting engagement, but they don't really know about engagement. They engage with certain individuals, which ought not be. Engagement means that anybody ought to be able to come to the table.
Inclusion.
Inclusion, not exclusion. Yeah. Our engagement is exclusion here in the city of Indianapolis. We exclude people. Then once we exclude them, then we engage in what we feel ought to take place, which is unheard of in many other cities. I mean, doing the rural shooting, we wanted to have a task force just to bring the community together to be able to engage. That got scrapped. And we're still right at that particular place to where we have organizations out doing certain things, but they're not decreasing the homicide rate. You might give someone $65,000 or $75,000 to handle an area, to put the word out, diffuse it, but instead of diffusing it, it goes up. So what do you say about that? So, it's a lot of things that I could talk about that I see in the city. But yes, we suffer from exclusion, not inclusion. And hopefully we can change that.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, a lot of work to do, and a lot of people are willing to help if they let them.
So hopefully that will happen. We've got the rundown coming up here in just a few moments on this special edition of Real People, Real Voices. So we hope that you'll come back. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Thank you for all of the things you execute.
Well, thank you.
I have a question since we're in the
me.
rundown for you two. Why is it when we point out something we see politically that we disagree with, that people instantaneously think you're against the administration?
From your point,
That's my point exactly.
I think it's human nature.
Really?
I think it's human nature.
I've been toying with that question in my hand. It is just, if you disagree with something, that doesn't mean that you're against the administration.
No, not at all. It's just you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to look at it. I mean, anybody's supposed to look at it. I mean, I'm just saying.
But I think we're in a society where no matter what it is, if it's the elected official, a leader of a church, or any organization, when you point out something or you criticize something, and people just automatically come back and they say, well, that's personal, you're talking about me.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on the issue.
Let's fix the issue.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
correct.
That's what I'm talking
about. There are things that people say, there are allegations, and then there are malicious allegations.
But that comes along. I was taught in seminary, if you can't take the hits, you have no business leading. And that's seminary, but I don't know if that's in the secular.
I mean, it's leadership.
It's leadership.
Yeah, it
when you lead, you're gonna automatically be hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just us being here right now, we're targets. So if we can't take the heat, then we got to get off the TV. But we can take the heat. We can take it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to thank you all for supporting us. We really appreciate you.
We do.
Friday nights at 9:30, watching this show. Sunday, late afternoons at 5:30 p.m. Please remember to go to YouTube and Facebook and join us back next week.